Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay's Corner. This isn't a review. This is just a recap. I was all up for this Gucci Mane and Keyshia wedding, the main event stuff. Now, all the while it has been leading up to this episode, I kept on saying, like, is this just a special to show their wedding? Is it supposed to be a TV show? Like, if it's a TV show, how do you start out with the wedding? I was confused. So I was like, let's just see what it is. So I watched it. Now, let me be honest. I fast forwarded through a lot of stuff. Solely because I was like, I didn't care for the interviews in the beginning. I was like, oh, okay. You know, it was Karuchi and some guy who was doing the little interviews. And it was just weird to me. That part was weird. They showed little snippets of, I guess, what's going to be the rest of the season. But I kept thinking to myself, why is the rest of the season going to be about how they plan the wedding, but y'all just showed us the wedding? Like, if there's drama in the before, we like, oh my God, they're going to get married. We know where they put it off because they got married. I would have thought they would have done... We knew that the wedding was going to be today, for one. I'm surprised they didn't do the episodes before the wedding. Like, I just don't see the point of having the wedding first and then having episodes of how the wedding was planned after. I don't. I think I would have been more invested in the episode today had I watched, a few weeks of what it led up to. But, I watched it in about 20 minutes. One, I don't like Kim Zolciak and her daughter. I was surprised. I think that part was like, why are they there? Like, do they even know Gucci or Keyshia? But who knows? It's Atlanta. And I like the all whites. But I didn't get the whole correspondence before a wedding situation. That part for me was like, whatever. Now, the wedding itself was absolutely gorgeous. Like, it was, I loved her dress. It was a beautiful, beautiful dress. I think Gucci also looked nice in his tux and his suit. The bridesmaids all looked great. Everyone was in all white. The bride and groom was in all white. Everyone was in all white. For me, because everyone was in all white, everything kind of like blended in a little bit. I think it was too much white for me. That's just my personal opinion. But again, I was just like, oh, so it's really just a wedding. Like, it's not, like, it was nothing except the wedding. And I thought they had like a reality show. So I think I was just confused the whole time. Like, I don't know if I liked it. And me personally, I don't think I'm going to watch the episodes coming up, only because I've seen the wedding. You know what I'm saying? I think typically with wedding specials, you have something leading up to the wedding. And it builds up, the anticipation to see how the wedding comes off. So I think showing the wedding happen, they actually got married. For me, I'm looking like, I don't have to watch the making of the wedding because the wedding already happened. Like, I know who the bridesmaids was because I've seen all of them. I don't really care to know about the stuff that happened already because I saw the wedding come together. So I'm just surprised that they did it that way. I don't know if it was because they wanted a live wedding. Because they kept saying, it's going to be live. And I kept thinking, how can a reality show be live? So that's why I kept thinking, okay, maybe it's just the wedding itself is going to be, this one-time event situation or whatever. But then when it was like, oh yeah, so it's going to be the reality show, it's going to be us leading up to the wedding. And I'm like, but y'all had the wedding. Like, how? You had a wedding. It was just weird for me. And it was a lot of guests. But I'm like, was anybody invited to the wedding? Because I had people who are my friends who live here in Detroit, Michigan, or the surrounding cities of Michigan, and they were saying they were there. So I'm like, was it like open to the public? Like, how did the guest list get planned? or was like the reception like open to whoever. I wouldn't want just whoever at my actual wedding. Like, I would prefer if it was people I knew. And then I kept saying to myself, well, maybe the people I'm seeing posting about that they're at the wedding, are they just watching it on TV like me? Because I was technically at the wedding. I saw it and everything. And so that part kept confusing me. And yeah, you know, even the priest, the pastor who did the wedding, when he said, yeah, when I was first contacted to do the wedding, you know, I kept thinking, well, is the love real? So I asked my wife, because she knows everything. And she said, oh yeah, Gucci and Keyshia Kayor, they love us everything. And I'm like, but how she know that unless she know them? Like, I would never be the one to be like, I seen so-and-so on TV, so I know they in love. I don't know that. I don't know that at all. So I would prefer if he would have said, you know, we took a week or two or a couple weeks or whatever. And I got a feeling for both of you guys. And I saw your love was real. Not you asked your wife because she must be into stars and, you know, the whole world of other people. But I'm like, okay, preacher man. So he then said, you know, how they have a, you know, a inconvenient love. And at first I'm like, what do you mean inconvenient love? I'm like, well, he didn't say convenient, because convenient is kind of like you using people for something. So when he started saying how convenient is because inconvenient love is because, you know, it's not when everything is oh so good, like now this beautiful, beautiful wedding. It was, you know, through the hardships and when you don't want to love the other person, you don't want to, when you're ready to give up, but you don't, or when you are tired and you keep going. And I'm like, that is a great way to say the kind of love they have. Now, I don't know the people, but that's what he said. Because again, we know that Gucci did 3 years in prison, and Keyshia did those 3 years with him. They have been together a total of 7 years. And she was saying how when he was locked up, that she would get up at the same time he had to get up. She would eat breakfast at the same time he would have to eat breakfast. They would work out at the same time, even though they were in 2 different places, meaning she did that time with him. Kudos, girl. Kudos. So I think that's a wonderful thing. I think people can also see a change in Gucci since before when he went in and how he is and he came out. I've heard people joke and say, well, people say, I don't know if they're joking, that he's a clone, it ain't the real Gucci. You know, Gucci wouldn't be acting like this. I think people forget prison changes people. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it changes you for the good, for the better, or you stay the same. You still an asshole that you were when you come out, that you were when you went in. It just seems like he went to prison and he finally realized this ain't what he want. You know, he don't want to be there for the rest of his life. So he just made a life change. And sometimes it's hard for people to see the change in people. Because even she said, like, you know, I love him and, you know, he's my everything. Now, we didn't hear much from him. So will I turn in to see if he talked? No, I don't think so. I don't think I will. I'll probably set my DVR to record it, and I'll just watch it, like, if someone says something, you know, funnier happened or whatever. But yeah, I mean, congratulations to them. You know, I always say I love love. Love is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Again, her dress was beautiful. It fit like a glove. She is extremely in shape. The only critique I would have is I think her eyebrows looked very, very fake. But I think it was because of the cameras. You know, sometimes camera makeup and regular makeup is not the same. I don't even mean to say her eyebrows look fake in a hating way. I just mean when they did a close-up of her face, they looked like they were tattooed on. And not, you know, that's how it looked to me, but whatever. But I loved her dress. He looked happy. She looked happy. I did like they kissed. I'm like, the kiss was so regular. I'm gonna tongue my husband down when we get married. I think I was laughing when I'm like, oh, because when she was walking up the aisle and when she was walking in, she looked gorgeous. And I was like an old man standing next to her, and I'm like, well, is he gonna walk her down the aisle? Because I'm like, why he just standing there, and why she just standing there like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, he just a random old man, like it's not her daddy. So I kept laughing. I was like, why he not like walk her down the aisle? Like, why she just standing there? And you know, But it was, you know, it was a beautiful wedding, you know, all the white, all the people. But yeah, I just would have preferred a build up to it. So yeah. But yeah, congratulations to Gucci and Keyshia. They are married, married, married. They are very, very much over the top. It looks and seems like they are perfect for each other. So, but yeah, I mean, I watched it in about 15 to 20 minutes. Like I fast forwarded it. I fast forwarded. I watched like just the wedding part, because I'm like, they was talking to Lil Yachty in the beginning, and he had on a whole fur coat thing, and I was confused. And you know, it was Karrueche talking, and the guy who had his name was a double name, and I thought that was dumb. Then I saw, you know, Kim Zolciak and her daughter. I'm looking like, okay, now this is just too reality show fakeness. I didn't like that at all. And then when the actual wedding started, that's what interested me. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I mean, if you haven't seen it, I wouldn't say you missed much. If you want to see more about it, or if you are a Gucci or a Keyshia K'Or fan, I would suggest for you to watch the reality show. If you didn't watch this, you didn't miss much. So yeah, but I'm going to bed. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. Peace.